Alright, in this video we're going to go over setting up the layout of your console and kind of what some of the things do, what some of the windows are, and kind of things to get you started. So when you load a new show file, it's going to be blank, just like this. And what you're going to want to do is just click in the corner of whatever window you're in, and this menu will pop up. You have a lot of different options. So the first thing we're going to be looking for is under the Pools tab. It's called Groups. So you select that, and then if you left click here, you can change different colors for things like the frame, and I like to make mine red. That's just my preference. You can make it whatever you want. But once you've done that, you can adjust it however you want. So you can move this up and add another window. So the next window we're going to want to add is a preset window. Now you have all your various presets like your dimming palette, your position palette, your Gobo palettes, color, and so on. There's also a pool that's all that allows you to store any attribute you want. But the one I like to use, especially for programming, is dynamic. And the reason being that once you select a fixture and you select the attribute, it will change to whatever attribute you have selected. So once you have your view set up the way you want it, you're just going to hit Store. Let me move this up. And then click where you want to store it. So we're going to make it right here. And you're able to select what screens you want to save. You can store just one. You can store the whole layout of the console you have in that particular view. But for now, we're just going to store this, and we're going to just call it Groups. And hit Please. And now we have our first window. So now we need to make some groups. So if you watched the previous video, we made all of our fixtures 101 through 110. So what we'd want to do to select them is go Fixture 101 through 110. And then you hit Store. And bam, you have your first group. Now there's other ways you can do this. One feature I like to use, especially if I have a lot of fixtures, is I'll go to Setup, and you can come down here to Auto Create, and then it'll show you all your fixtures based on layers. So you just select it. You can highlight all the ones you want. When they're blue, that means you have them, and hit Create All. And if you come back over here, you can see it made the group for me, and you can do that for all your fixtures. I feel like that's an easy way just to start off and grab the fixtures you need. Alright, the next thing we're going to want to do is make a fixture sheet. So you can delete the windows by right-clicking at the top, and then left-click, and under Sheets, hit Fixture. And then to store, hit Store. And we're going to just call this Fix. Now, so we can kind of see better what's going on, I'm going to add this fixture sheet into our other window. So what I'm going to do is scale this down a little bit. You don't really need all this space, so take it down to here. And do the same thing, left click, Sheets, Fixture, and then I'm just going to store it in our original group tab by hitting Store and Please. Now, the programmer is a pretty essential thing to this console. So the way the programmer works is you select your group, and as you can see, it's lit up in yellow to indicate that we've selected those fixtures. Now, if you want to bring your fixtures to full dimming, you can either hit at 100, please, or the easiest way to do it is just at twice will take it to 100. If you want to put it at 50, you put at 50, please. We're going to go to full. And you can see all this lights up in red. And that indicates that it's in the programmer, it's active, and it's ready to be recorded. So what we're going to do is, let's say we want to store this as the dimming preset. We select dim, and now I have my dimming palettes up. I hit store, and bam, I got it. Now to label this, you just hit assign twice, and you'll notice that now it says label in the command line. Click it. We'll name this dim 1, I guess. So when you're done, you just clear out the programmer. Now what you'll notice about the programmer is, say we have this up, there's 3 levels of clear. So the first time you hit clear, it's going to deselect your fixtures, but it's going to keep everything in the programmer and ready to be recorded. The next level of clear deactivates that. So basically you're still seeing the look you have on stage, whatever's in the programmer, but now if you hit store, it's not going to record it anywhere. And then the last level of clear completely clears out the programmer, and we'll just take it back to whatever sequence or your console was running before that. So you can see too, we can recall our preset there just by clicking on it. So let's say now we want to make, we turn our fixtures on so we can see what we're doing, and then we move them around with the position. And as you see down here, when something's active in the programmer, this lights up red as well. And say, for instance, we don't want that dimming, we just want the position. If you double click, you can deactivate it, and you can reactivate it by double clicking it again. So we're going to store this as a position. So now we want to put these on a fader. So we select our preset or whatever, and we make sure that everything's activated. And it's the same process. We hit store, and now you've stored an executor. And when I refer to executor, it's pretty much any fader or button on the console. That's not like a hard key for like a command. And now you can see as I turn it up, it's bringing it up to that position. And it lights up blue to indicate that it's a hard value coming from a sequence. Whereas like if it's in the programmer, it's going to light up red. And that means it's going to get stored somewhere. And also you can see I was able to just activate it by selecting the fixture and double clicking, and now it's ready to be stored somewhere.